Welcome back to the Stovetop. In this coffee review, I'd like to share with you a store brand coffee that we recently started drinking. The coffee comes from Meijer, which is local to the Great Lakes Midwest region. It's kind of like Walmart but better. It doesn't have a department where they change your tires, but it has all the same things: clothing and pharmacy, groceries, that sort of thing, little outlet stores. It's 24 hours, and in my opinion, they're better than Walmart. Their produce department is absolutely much better. I think their sales are much better, and overall, the stores are, in my opinion, better kept up. Usually a little bit bigger, and the aisles are easier to navigate through. It's just something that if you don't live out here, you've never been to a Meijer, you might not understand, but Walmart is about the closest analogy that I can give you. Now, with store brand anything, sometimes that's what you get, right? Store brand. You're saving money, but are you really? Because the quality isn't there. And then other times, some store brand things are just as good as the name brand stuff. In this case, this coffee really isn't that bad. But what I've noticed, though, we're on our third bag. This is a 12-ounce bag of ground up coffee. And we ran into some issues that we didn't have with the first two bags. And that is that the coffee was kind of plugging up the filter in the basket on Mr. Coffee. I think that it was too finely ground, actually, because the first two didn't do that. And no matter how many times I brew some coffee with it, it just seems to plug up. And I said, how do I fix this problem? Well, they offer it in whole bean as well, and you can buy it in a 2-pound bag, and there's a definite cost savings buying it in bulk. So I thought for the coffee review, I'd go ahead and grind it up and tell you what I think of it. Now, I'll be using AbsoPure purified drinking water. This is reverse osmosis water. This is a Michigan brand, and they've been around since 1908, like the label says. The instructions on the bag say to use 2 level tablespoons per 6 ounces of water. Now, I've got a 12-cup urn in my Mr. Coffee, so that translates to about 60 ounces of water. So more or less, it's saying 20 level tablespoons. It does say adjust to taste. That seems a bit excessive for me, but this is a light roast, so maybe that's why. I don't know. I'm going to try to see if I can get 20 tablespoons in there and see what happens. So let me get this ground up, get in Mr. Coffee. I've already rinsed the filter with some purified drinking water. I'll be brewing on the stronger of the 2 settings, and I'll tell you what I think of it. Alright, coffee's all done brewing. You might still hear some hissing out of Mr. Coffee. Go ahead and pour it here. That color makes me think it's a medium roast, not a light roast. It's a little bit, it's not dark, it's just a medium color. Light roasts, the ones that I've tried before, you can kind of see light through them. So let me let this cool off, and I'll tell you a few things that I observed while brewing the coffee. First is I left the bag open so you can see the beans. They're a mixture of light and medium beans. And first thing when you open the bag, you can smell, it smells sweet like maraschino cherries. I noticed the same thing with the ground coffee, and I wasn't sure if I was going to get it with the whole bean. But you get that while you're brewing. The maraschino cherry smell is in a region of the coffee maker. I'm not going to say it's going to fill the whole house, but you can smell it, and it's pleasant. The grinder, if I fill it about level, I was getting about 9 level tablespoons out of it. So I brewed this with 18 tablespoons of coffee. It filled up the basket, not quite all the way, but I was a little bit concerned. The coffee pot didn't plug up at all. The hot water filtered right through it just fine. Okay, it's still a little bit too hot to drink too much of it, but I can tell you this. It's a little bit bitter in the middle, but not very much. This coffee overall is smooth. You get the maraschino cherry on the back side, but now that I've read that it's artificially flavored, to me, maybe subconsciously, I'm there thinking, it kind of tastes a little artificial. It kind of tastes a little man-made there. It's not an overwhelmingly strong cherry taste. The smell coming off the coffee is similar to the smell you get when you open the bag or when you're brewing, just not as strong. That's all. So it's not an overwhelming taste. It's not an overwhelming smell. Overall, it's just smooth, drinkable, affordable store brand coffee. I'm going to have a few cups while I join the panel of Caliber Corner, and I'll be back with my final thoughts. So, final thoughts on Meijer Gold Michigan Cherry Coffee. I was looking online to see if Meijer.com offered this for sale to ship anywhere in the U.S., and unfortunately they don't. If you go to look this up on Meijer.com, it'll show you if it's in stock at the local store and what aisle it's in. There's also local delivery options, but that's it. So if you want to try this out for yourself, if you've got a friend in the Midwest Great Lakes region who can buy this and ship it to you, or if you happen to be passing through and stopping at a Meijer's, eventually they'll be back to 24 hours like they were before all this nonsense, then you could try this or some of the other store brand products out for yourself. Overall, I'm going to say this. It says it's a light roast, but it looks and tastes like a medium roast to me. It's not really bitter. There's a little bit in the middle, but it's not really bitter. The coffee smell is, or I mean the the cherry smell, the maraschino cherry smell is not very strong, but that's there more so than the taste, in my opinion. It is a flavored coffee, and if you're not a flavored coffee person, I'm talking to you, Patriot in the Dark, then it's probably not for you. But it is a little bit different than your average everyday, Maxwell House or Folgers. This, as far as I'm concerned, for us, is a daily drinker. It's smooth and it's affordable. I'm going to continue to buy it, I think, in the whole bean form because there's a big savings there, and it didn't plug up Mr. Coffee brewing it. I prefer grinding my coffee beans anyhow, so I'm glad they have that option. I did also check the website, and they do have this in a decaf. They also, it looks like they might have had K-Cups as well. I'm not really a Keurig person, so I can't really speak too much to that. Now, something about buying it in the 12-ounce bag where it's already ground is that it's got these tabs on it so you can just fold it over. On the 2-pound bag, you've just got a piece of tape. And it takes a while to go through all these beans, although at 18 to 20 level tablespoons, maybe not, but I may have to replace this tape. So that's one of the pitfalls of buying the store brand, is that's where to get the savings. And as far as the brand name, looking on the website, it said Meijer Gold, so I want to be more specific about that. Otherwise, though, with this Abso Pure Water, it tastes just fine. It brewed just fine. It's given me plenty of energy. I was drinking it while I was on the show this morning, and it's done its job. So that's what I think of the Meijer Gold brand Michigan Cherry. It's a daily drinker, in my opinion, and if you live in this area and you try it out for yourself, I think you'll be pleasantly surprised. If you have a coffee grinder, I recommend that you just go with the whole bean and just forego the ground coffee. Thanks for watching.